Welcome to the Saints That Serve podcast,
where each week your hosts dive into the crossroads of faith,
culture,
and the unknown. Christ is Lord,
and the kingdom is now. We are the Saints That Serve.
Welcome to the Saints That Serve podcast with your hosts, Johnny and...
I'm Jairus.
That's right, it's Jairus. Anyways, we're here with episode 16, baby.
That is 16 of the Saints That Serve podcast. Entertaining podcast about Jesus and love.
And everything pop culture.
Yep. Thank you for saving me there. I was trying to think of something to add in there, and you just came in with the facts. So I appreciate it.
And so we're here to entertain you, talking about entertainment in general and bringing it back to Christ. And dude, 16 episodes.
16 episodes. I talked about it last... That wonderful interruption.
You're welcome.
I talked about it last week of how, we are getting to the point already that people will bring up moments of past episodes. I'm like, I don't remember that.
Yeah, and they'll be talking about it, and we'll be like, wait a minute, which episode was that again?
Right? And then I was looking at our list, our stats, and looking at our list of episodes and our bonus, and I'm like, that's right, we did do a hurricane relief episode.
Yep. Yeah.
That's right, we did do a live stream.
We did do a live stream, which we're going to do another one pretty soon. So stay in the loop for that. It'll be one of our January episodes. So make sure you keep up with our up-to-dates, and you can keep up to date with us and our announcements by following us on Instagram, Facebook, X, Threads, all of it. And you can subscribe on any of the podcast apps that you're listening to this right now.
That's right. And if you're listening to this episode and you haven't listened to episode 15, what are you doing first off?
Yeah, stop what you're doing.
And go back to 15, because we had an excellent guest with Taylor on that episode.
Oh, yeah.
And I was telling Johnny that as of this recording, that episode came out a couple of days ago. And that took me the longest to edit over any episode we have ever edited and put out.
Yeah. But not because he was struggling to make it entertaining. The conversation was very entertaining.
Okay, so again, as always, I love pulling back the curtain. The conversation was fantastic.
Yep.
But it went over tremendously.
Yeah.
I think that our recording time ended up being about 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. And I got it down because I was very meticulous on this particular episode, because it's usually I can maybe cut out some sentences, maybe some conversations that really don't add to anything.
Yeah.
It was all such great conversation that there was nothing I could cut out. So I then went in and cutting out silences and weird moments and stuff like that to just keep the pacing better. I got it down to 1 hour 45.
Yeah, baby.
You would be surprised how much is in there of the awkward silences and the stutters, the things that y'all don't hear but are part of the recording process. You would be surprised how much that really adds to it.
And Taylor is excellent in speechcraft, and he is, I'm going to go ahead and call him a veteran of the media industry. He just knows so much. It's insane, all the stuff that he knows.
I will say it wasn't Taylor. It was me. It was mostly my awkward silences and my ums and stuff of that nature.
Yeah.
And then a lot of, Yep. John
my nostril
likes to
flares.
John likes to breathe through his nose, and he does it involuntarily, but so many times.
Right into the mic.
That might just be a bonus episode one day, just all his nostril flares, and that's it.
Anyways, so yeah, that's it. If you haven't listened to episode 15, please go back and listen to it. It was a great time. We talked about the nativity. We talked about Lord of the Rings. We talked about so much. One Punch Man. Talked about a lot. But yeah, so if you're not following us, please go follow us so you can stay up to date. Like our episodes, leave a review if you can. That would be great. and comment. If you have the ability to comment. We want to know you guys. We want to have an awesome community of people that are a part of the conversation. So if you give us ideas or if you comment on our stuff and give us feedback, we can bring that into the pod. I do want to do a shout out for Gene. He listened to our episode about the theme parks. And he gave us, I know you may have watched it or not, but the Escape from
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Did you watch that? Have you watched that?
I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
He said, don't.
Oh, okay.
He said, let me save you from the nightmares. Don't watch it. It's awful. And I was like, thank you for that. So shout out to Gene. Thank you for doing the legwork for everyone out there. This is just a broadcast to everyone listening. Don't watch that movie.
I had heard about it. I loved the idea that somebody sneaking into the theme park to film a movie.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me know that it'd be a waste of my time.
Yeah. He was like, he was like, yeah, I was cruising on Netflix and I saw it. I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, I watched it. And then just nights of lost sleep, he said. It's like, oh.
It's probably one of those really just disturbing messes with your head nonsense.
I think so. I think that, yeah, it just doesn't, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, shout out to Gene for that. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you listening, Gene.
Thank you, Gene.
We love you.
Let's give him a fake last name right now.
Gene
Simmons.
You were quick.
Do you not know who Gene Simmons is?
I've heard the name. I couldn't sit here and tell you about him, but I know of a Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons is the leader of Kiss, like the lead singer for Kiss.
There we go. That's what it was.
So Gene Simmons.
You want to know why that name is familiar? Because of the movie Role Models, because they list the different band members from Kiss, because the supporting character, or I guess he's a main character. I guess there's two main characters, but the one main character is like a huge Kiss fan.
Gotcha. Because you watched it, name another member of Kiss.
I couldn't tell you any member of the band's name, but if you like, the only reason Gene Simmons stood out is because of the Role Models movie.
Gotcha.
So anyways, yeah, that's it. So if you need prayer for anything, we are praying on Fridays. We will obviously pray for you sooner if you reach out to us, but Pray For You Friday happens every Friday. So just send us a message on any of our platforms on social media, or you can do a direct text SMS messaging at the bottom of the description for this episode. We also have an email that you can reach out to us with any kind of comments or info or prayer requests. And that is saintsthatserve@gmail.com. Again, that email is saintsthatserve@gmail.com. And without further ado, Mr. Jarris, sir, we're going to do a Tyler transition into our first topic.
Which is not really a topic, is it?
No, it's a mini game.
So we, in a bonus episode, played a little mini game.
Yep.
And we loved it so much. We're going to bring it back right now.
We're going to do it again. Let me see if I got something for this.
We need
I don't really have
a theme song for this game.
This isn't.
Get it? Because it's paying.
Paying. Yeah. No. All right. So this is our Facebook Marketplace game.
Dude,
what did we call it last time? Do you remember?
Facebook Marketplace Madness or something like that.
Yeah.
Over time, this will evolve and we'll have the right name for it, like we did the corner.
Yeah. We need to actually just make a spreadsheet for all of our mini games that we create.
Oh, by the way, I came up with one. I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is now, but when we start our missionary month, which starts next week.
Next week. That's right.
I think I'm going to throw it in there. I think it'll be a fun game to play.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All right.
So, hey, if that is intriguing to you guys, tune in next week with the start of missionary month.
Yep. And we're going to be interviewing different people that have gone through the discipleship training program with Youth with a Mission Ministries and just getting their experiences and how it's affected their lives and kind of, what they've done and what they're doing now. So it's really good. It'll be a good conversation, kind of just getting different perspectives about the same thing, right? And just seeing how you don't have to have a seminary degree to go out and evangelize the nations.
Mm-hmm.
So,
because everybody's experience with it is going to be different, and that's what's incredible, right?
Right. And people go to different schools in different parts of the world, and every school is different. It has its own culture and community. So it'll be a good month. It'll be fun. We'll have fun. So without that further ado, let's get into this Facebook Marketplace Madness. I'll go first.
Facebook Marketplace Madness?
Okay. My first thing, are you ready? This one, I think you're going to be able to ballpark it pretty good. But it is a Dragon Ball complete manga box set, volume 1 through 26.
Oh, that's going to be about $150.
Okay. It's 120.
Ah,
really close, though.
Close.
That's what I was saying. You were able to ballpark it really good.
You talk about manga, I will probably remember it. There you go. Me and my wife buy a lot of manga, so.
And just for those out there who don't know what that is, go ahead and elaborate on what a manga is.
Manga is a Japanese form of entertainment. It's a book, and it's like a comic book, but it's an anime-styled comic book. They read it from right to left. That's a fun fact about that.
Yeah.
But the thing is anime is based off of manga, not the other way around. They will make a manga, and if the manga does well, then they'll make an anime off of it.
Yeah. So Japanese visual book art, storytelling style.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. All right. You got one for me?
You know what? I'm going to be completely transparent. When I reloaded my Facebook app, it cleared out everything I had.
Oh, okay. I got another
So I'm
one.
still searching, but I will find. Oh, you know what? So I'm going to do this one just because.
Okay.
So on my side, I want to show you the picture, and you have to guess what the item is.
Okay.
So this is the preview picture for the item. So describe that to everybody.
That is a monkey with its hands on its head looking off to the side, and it's kind of a little blurry, but you can clearly see that it's a monkey. Okay.
So the item is a 1991 Honda Civic DX hatchback.
What?
Now, how much do you think the 1991 Honda Civic DX hatchback 2D cost?
I'm going to say that they've listed it for $3,000.
You're pretty close. It's $4,200.
$4,200.
So I don't know. It's just so funny because there's 14 pictures. The rest of them are of the car,
But the first one.
but the first picture is just a monkey.
That's so weird. What if the monkey's in the car and that's why they're selling it? They don't want to open the car.
Oh, it's like one of those underground selling rings. So it's like
Oh, yeah.
so they're not actually selling the car, they're selling
the monkey. The monkey is $4,200.
The monkey is $4,200.
But in the dark web, lingo for monkey is a 1991 Honda hatchback. All right, are you ready for this? I got a Elvis collectible dolls. There's two of them.
Elvis collectible dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Two of them.
It looks like it's like a Ken doll, but it's Elvis Presley.
Okay, so just Barbie dolls, but they're Elvis.
Still in the authentic casing that they were sold in.
Unboxed Elvis Ken dolls, $70 a piece, so $140
Okay. $50
for both.
for both. Yeah.
All right, so okay, awesome. Again, going to play this game. I'm going to show you. This is funny. The listing says custom Hot Wheels. It's just one.
Okay.
Describe that to everybody for me.
Okay. It is a pink low riding truck, probably late 80s, early 90s style, body style. And it has Mother Mary with pink roses decaled on it. And it is a Hot Wheels still in its casing or packaging.
And now, how much do you think that costs?
I'm going to say $200.
You went over quite a bit there.
Oh, really?
$75.
$75.
That's still a lot of money for a toy.
Jeez. Okay.
I will tell you now, I'm upset because mine before that I had pulled up was pretty much a tank. It was like a military all-terrain vehicle, armored.
Yeah.
And I can't read it. It's gone. But how much do you think, this isn't my final one, but how much do you think the all-terrain armored military vehicle was? on Facebook Marketplace.
Probably like 60 grand.
It was 45 grand.
45 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to find a real banger. I had another one that was like, it's okay, but I want a really good one. I want a good one. Do you want to guess another manga? I've got another manga set.
All right.
Berserk Deluxe Manga 1 through 6.
Oh, I saw that one earlier.
Oh.
Isn't it like $60?
No, it's $150.
Oh, I didn't actually look at the price.
No, it's $150.
I did see that one earlier scrolling, though.
Yeah, I don't have any good ones, dude.
All right, here we go. It is a handmade Lego mannequin of the pink Power Ranger from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Nice.
And I can show you the picture.
Oh, it's literally the torso of the pink Power Ranger made out of Legos.
Life-sized.
Life size.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with $400, Bob.
So let us know in the comments if you want to see the pink Power Ranger made out of Legos on the podcast set, because it's only $50.
Whoa. I want to, no, I don't want that here. Do you know what I do want here? This is my final one. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It is a Star Wars life-size Yoda from the Phantom Menace.
Star Wars life-size Yoda.
So but it's like what the height Yoda would be. So it's like 3 feet tall.
Sure.
Okay. But it is a life-size figurine of Yoda. How much do you think it costs? Or how much do you think they're selling it for?
What is it made out of?
Probably looks like cloth and silicone and
Okay, so
fake hair or real hair, maybe. I don't know.
that'd be weird if it was real Yoda's hair.
It would be even weirder if it was real human hair that they put on it.
So hold on. You're telling me that you would think it was weirder that it was human hair and not the actual Yoda's hair? That the human part is the weird part to you?
What? Okay, so we're talking about a fictional character that has only ever always been fictional.
Mm-hmm. So that'd be really weird if that was actually his hair.
Okay, I guess so.
Oh, golly. $90.
$90.
Mm-hmm.
You are nowhere near.
Is it like $1,000 something?
Yeah, it's $1,750.
Jeez.
I mean, they went all out on it.
I got one more.
Okay, I'm ready. I am prepared.
All right. Dolly Parton, paper mache by Chris.
What?
And then it says his last name, then 08. So Dolly Parton, paper mache. It's a life-size paper mache. Sorry, I just looked at this picture. Dolly Parton, paper mache, life-size Dolly Parton.
Oh,
It's hideous.
that is. It's by Chris.
By Chris.
I'm sorry, Chris, but I just don't do that again.
Don't do
I'm gonna say that they're trying to sell it for something.
They sure are. They're not giving it away.
But I don't feel like it's a whole lot. So maybe like $150.
You're under.
Really?
Yeah, you're under.
Like way under, or
I'll say you are not too terribly off, but you got a ways to go.
$375.
$500.
$500 for a life-size paper mache of Dolly Parton.
Now,
Really, really out of proportion fingers, like super long, bulky fingers.
this thing is butt ugly.
Yeah. Well, but, if you think about it, like, can you really make paper mache pretty?
I mean, they make wax figures pretty, so I couldn't, it's not on. Well, I'm just saying they can make statues of people look lifelike.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure that there is paper mache out there that exists that looks good.
Fair. That's fair.
And Gene, if you want to correct me on that, let me know.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Are we ready to...
So that was... That
That was... We'll have a better intro for Facebook Marketplace.
It should just be fum bop dippy da ba da fum bop.
What's that? What's that one song where they do that? They got the.
Are you talking about like the Snoop Dogg's? Like,
yeah, I think it's. Yeah. There we go. Pop it like it's hot. Yeah.
Drop it like it's hot.
Drop it like it's hot. Pop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
But yeah, instead of Snoop, it's fum.
Yeah. We just voice edit over it.
Mm-hmm. It's the beat, but it's our voices. So let's. Hey Tyler, this is your transition. We are now moving on to the next topic.
That's right.
So we didn't really say it at the beginning, but hey, this is the end of our joyful season this year.
That's right. This is the last episode for joyful season for 2024, and we're talking about.
Well, let me stop you there.
Sorry, go for it.
How was your Christmas?
It was well. Thank you. How was your Christmas?
It went really well.
Good.
Hey, guys, listen at home. How was your Christmas?
Yeah. What was your favorite thing that happened?
What was your favorite memory?
Favorite memory, favorite moment for Christmas? Leave a comment.
My favorite memory of your Christmas was I was there.
So according to the camera I installed in your house, my favorite memory of your Christmas
was the time that you opened up that gift and it was just a bag of cat litter. They pranked you good, Joe.
No, we had a pretty good time. I will say Christmas morning, it was a lot of fun with the boys coming out and seeing their presents and opening them up and having a fun time. A lot of the gifts that we got the boys this year was secondhand. So it wasn't like trashy, old, junkety stuff, but it was just stuff that people were reselling because they were trying to get rid of it. And it was in decent shape, good shape, but we went ahead and that's what we bought as gifts this year for the boys. And they had just as much fun as they would have if it was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
So I say all that it takes a little bit more effort and intentionality to seek out things that are being resold and obtaining them than it is just doing the quick 30-minute Amazon shop. But the kids enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And so it was good for me to be reminded like, hey, they're having fun. They were given things that they're enjoying and they're just having a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And it really brought back that perspective that we need to have as Christians for Christmas is it doesn't have to be new. It doesn't have to be shiny. It doesn't have to be the latest thing. It just has to remind you of the joy of receiving a gift,
mm-hmm.
right? And so there's joy in receiving, and our ultimate gift is Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So receiving that gift.
So before we started recording, you told me, you was like, hey, the boys want to see you before they have to go to bed.
Yeah.
And immediately when we got up there is, Jairus, look at this, what I got. Jairus, look at this, what I got. Jairus, look at this, what I got. They wanted to show me everything they got. They were so excited to see me and just to show off all the great things they got.
Yeah.
So it's just like, again, it's not about the things.
Yeah.
A lot of times it's, like you said, it's about receiving something, and it feels good to receive and it feels good to give.
Yep. Yeah, I got some stuff for Christmas, and I am super joyful that my wife and my in-laws and my family, they were all thinking of me, but I had more joy watching my boys enjoy their gifts and like they're happy. They're not like sitting here like, oh, I didn't get the whatever 3,000. They were like, oh, wow, I got this Nerf gun or a scooter. I got this scooter, so it's like.
When's the last time the whatever 3000's even been in stock?
I don't think it's ever been in stock. I think it keeps on getting promised and then it never comes out.
Yeah. All we have is the whatever 2000 right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The 3000 is just never coming.
Yes.
Whatever is just out of our reach.
Whatever.
What was your favorite part of Christmas?
I worked.
My favorite part was being absent.
No, that would be a bold-faced lie to say that my job took over my Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. which it did not.
Yeah.
I worked from like 9 to 2. And my boss, being very generous, told me already before he let me go at 2 that he would let me go at 3:30, which is my typical off time is 6 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, that's great. That gives me enough time to get home, get ready, and then go to my grandmother's house for Christmas Eve, which is what we do every year. We go to my grandmother's house for Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And the majority of the family is there on my side. And then Christmas Day, we loaded up and drove the hour and a half to my in-laws.
Yep.
And spent all day there.
Awesome.
So just had a good time being there.
Yeah.
At both places.
Yeah.
Had a glorious time.
Awesome.
Got gifts, but, the gifts don't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Though I did get a video game and I played the heck out of it today.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
We got a game. Ironically, though, both the games that we got are just revamped, remastered versions of older games that we played as kids.
It's funny, too, because, like, the game that you got and you were playing sums up perfectly your gaming habits. And the same for me.
Yeah.
So you got Age of Empires Remastered?
It's the official title of it is Age of Mythology Retold.
Oh, okay. But it is Age of Empires, right?
It is by the same people who do Age of Empires. So it still plays the same. It's just has a couple of extra features to the game that kind of make it exciting.
Mm-hmm. And then I today was playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is a remake of Final Fantasy. The part 2 of the remake trilogy of Final Fantasy VII.
Heck yeah, baby.
So was playing that today, and it made me late for the recording.
And that's okay.
So, but it's great. It's so much fun.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun with it. And we also want to know, if you're a gamer, what's your favorite classic game? Not like what's the most recent thing you're playing. What is your nostalgic game?
What is the best game that you played as a child, and why is it Kingdom Hearts?
Why is it Kingdom Hearts?
The reason why Final Fantasy VII is great in my heart is because Final Fantasy VII was made by the same guy who made Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
So really love that. And Cloud Strife, who is the main character that you play as in Final Fantasy VII, is in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh.
As that character.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a crossover.
He fights Cerberus in the Hercules Coliseum.
Impressive.
Mm-hmm. He also fights Hades with you.
Okay. Jared's just telling me all this. I've never played Kingdom Hearts.
I know, that's what I'm telling you, is like...
I know, but I'm just letting everybody know this is not scripted for you guys. This is actually for me. He's here relaying information.
We really need to sit down and do like a live stream, us playing Kingdom Hearts and you playing it for the first time. His look on his face is like, I don't wanna.
Oh, Dad. No, I think our first, I
didn't say our first. I'm just saying we should do it eventually.
Okay, we can do it eventually, but my personal opinion, because we did not do it for the live stream during election, our first live stream playthrough needs to be us playing Munchkins on the table.
Yep.
And we need to have 2 other people.
Yep. Munchkins is great when you have 4 folks.
Yep. So we're going to commit to that. That's what we're going to do.
What we need to do, I wish there was a way to do it, but I wish we would be able to do the digital version.
It's just not as good.
It's not. You're right. But it's cleaner. And it'd be easier to keep up with. But,
yeah, I guess.
But you know what? You're right. No, we need to.
People need to see the chaos of the card play.
So the problem, you're right. The problem with playing the digital version is it's to a T the rules.
Yeah, exactly.
When we play, we allow ourselves to interpret.
Well, but that's the thing is the instructions, they put that in there. They say, the game is designed for open interpretation and argument over the cards, but ultimately the owner of the game has the final say. So it's saying like, yes, it's open to interpretation, but there is a ref, if you will.
Yeah.
So
like, give an example. There is a card called Brick Wall.
yeah.
And it's just very vague. Is this card, if played, stops the fight?
Yeah. Is how it's worded. That's how it's worded.
So an instance that we used it in is the fight that somebody else was having was going to allow that person to win the game.
Yeah.
So it could be interpreted that it's only your fight, but I interpreted it as any fight.
Yeah.
And so I played it on that fight, stopping that fight, keeping that person from winning
the game.
that battle, and it kept them from winning the game. Then it got to my turn, and I was able to play a card, fight, and win, and I won the game. And there's so many times that we played that game, and it like caused a huge argument because it's like, no, you can't do it that way because the rule,
Yeah.
So it gets really messy with a lot of cards all over the place. And so it gets really chaotic in that sense. And it's sometimes hard to keep up with because you have all these different buffs and all this different stuff on your cards.
Yep.
So when you're playing the digital version, it's a really cleaner version of the game that makes it easier to keep up with everything.
Yeah.
But it does take away that aspect of interpreting the cards a certain way because it's like it's a digital version. It's like coded to be very specific rules.
Correct. Yep.
Sorry to get off topic during our joyful season.
No. Hey, we had fun here. So, okay, Tyler, now we're getting into it. So this is your transition out of what did we do Christmas Day to this week's
main topic,
which is the wise men. I need to get an air horn. I just realized I don't have that.
Shoot, I have one.
I like trains.
Next best thing. All right. So what do you know about the wise men, Jairus?
You hinted at it a little bit last week. They're named after characters from the Mummy. No. The Magi.
They're named after the Mummy characters. I did dive into that a little bit though, so I've got some clarification for that.
Perfect. They are three kings.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the stupid song lyrics. The song's not stupid.
We three kings of Orient are.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bearing
Yes, we traveled so far. It was loaded, we exploded. No, that was a little mockery of it, of the song.
Yeah, so they are three kings.
Yep.
Who brought gifts to Jesus.
That's right.
But fun fact, if I'm not mistaken, and you'll probably get into this, it was not on the day he was born. It was quite a while afterwards.
Correct. It was after Christ's birth.
It took them a long time to find him, right?
Yeah, kind of. Like, it's not clear how old Christ was.
But he was not lying in a manger at this point.
Correct. Yeah, it was not the night of his birth that they...
So we see all the nativity, scenery, decorations, imagery, and they're there. The three kings are at the manger. It didn't happen that way.
Yeah, they're just an integral part of the nativity story. So it gets included in, the little figures that people have at Christmas. But it did happen much later than the night of the birth. So
I was under the impression it was a couple of years, but
it is.
Oh, it did. Perfect.
Yeah.
I thought you're about to tell me it was like 3 weeks. No,
it was, I think, I don't want to misspeak, but I want to say some people assume that it's like 2 years after the birth, but we're going to go ahead and read that portion of the story. So if you've got a Bible and you want to whip it out, if you want to pause this real quick and go to Matthew chapter 2, we're going to be reading verses 1 through 12. And that kind of gives a highlight of it.
We need some sort of sound effect to when you're going to start reading the Bible as well. Something like, just like a Bible time.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and read it. So here we go. Matthew chapter 2. Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and the scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where the Christ should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of these shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privately called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. When they had heard the king, they departed. And lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. So there you go. If you keep reading, you can read about the flight to Egypt that Mary and Joseph do. So yeah, that's what it says in the Bible. So,
so why is it that in some parts they're wise men, some part they're kings?
Well, the original translation is, I need to pull it up. Sorry. The word is magos, is the Greek magos or magos. And that's where we get the Magi term. And it has to do with wise men, or sort like, it's a title for a specific people's or rank of peoples in Babylonian, in the Chaldean Babylon area. So Babylon was the city in Mesopotamia, and it was populated by the Chaldeans, if you will. So that was the people group, the Chaldeans. And they had different ranks of people. And so the Magi were, like, you could interpret it as like the chief soothsayers or chief wise men, like the top dogs when it comes to counsel and authoritative figures, right? So not quite like the ruling king, but people of authority who gave influence and insight to the king and did have some sort of, like territorial power. So yeah, the Magi is, we get it from the Greek term for these people that come from kind of the Mesopotamian area, that they were people that practiced just everything that had to do with wisdom, astrology, soothsaying. Sometimes you could interpret it as sorcery, interpreter of dreams. You know the book Daniel, prophet Daniel in the Old Testament. So there's a lot of people that are brought before the king in that book to try, and he tells all of his soothsayers and dream interpreters and prophets and everything. He's like, you've got to interpret this dream. Like, tell us the dream. And he's like, no, you've got to interpret it. And if you can't interpret it without me telling it to you, I'm going to kill you all. And so, by the grace of God, Daniel steps in and does the interpretation for the king and all this stuff. But that crowd of people inside it would be who we're calling the Magi or the wise men.
So they're not really kings at all. They're like the kings of knowledge.
They're like you could use the term like princes. You know how like they're leaders or lords, but they're underneath another king.
They are the deans of the college.
Yeah, they're like a minor king or a lesser king, if you would. You could look at it that way. What I found interesting is the Eastern interpretation of this puts the number of kings at 12 kings. The Roman Catholic or Western interpretations of this puts it at 3 kings. So we in the West have seen that there were 3 kings that came, but the Eastern churches puts it at 12 kings.
Why is that?
I don't know. Just that's their tradition. Just like our tradition is that there's 3, because the actual text doesn't give a number. It doesn't say how many kings. It just, or magi. It just says that there's magi. And it says that they bring gifts.
And they bring 3 gifts.
3 types of gifts. It doesn't say how many, how much gold or how much frankincense or how much myrrh. It just says that they bring gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Wise men number 7 brought gold and number 10 brought myrrh, and they divvied it out. That's really interesting because I never thought about it like that, that it doesn't specify 3 kings.
Exactly. That was just a church tradition for the West, was that it was 3 magi. And then the Eastern have interpreted it as 12. And there's significance to both. And I think that's the importance, is it's ambiguous because it doesn't really matter how many there were, but it does give creed to, 3 is the number of God, right?
Mm-hmm.
12 is the number of the people of God. Okay. And then the 3 gifts, right? 3 is the number of God. But then the 3 types of gifts, they depict his different roles, right? The gold, frankincense, and myrrh. It's going to, I can't remember the exact interpretations right now, but you can interpret different things about Christ by the gifts that are given to him. And they relay a message about his life and what's going to happen, right? So
imagine, you're at home with your family, right? You gave birth to the Savior of all mankind.
Yeah.
And you're just chilling at home, and then like a bunch of 12 dudes show up with a bunch of stuff for you.
Yeah.
Hey, we heard about your son. He's going to save us all. Here's some gold.
Yeah. What I find impressive is the star, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it says that the star leads them. Like, it's not like it's a stationary point and they just keep on navigating towards it. The way it's worded is it almost comes across as they're following this moving star, and it's moving at the pace for them to follow, and they're following it to Christ.
Right.
Right. And then it stops over Christ. And that's how they know to go into that place.
Would it be assumed then that they did travel for that amount of time, like the 2 years? Like, because was the star there when Jesus was born?
I think that this is my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think the star appeared in the sky when Christ was born.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the amount of time it took from when the star came to when the Magi showed up was them seeing the star, seeing that it's constant, looking for the interpretation, interpreting it, gathering the stuff to travel, setting their affairs in order, traveling, doing the whole thing with Herod, and then traveling to from Herod to Bethlehem.
Mm-hmm.
And appearing to Christ. So, how long it took, who knows? But I mean, really, they would have been coming from the Mesopotamian area. So kind of like modern day Iraq now,
mm-hmm.
Iraq/Syria, maybe. So it would have taken a couple of months, maybe a couple of weeks to a month. With Roman roads, probably a couple of weeks. Journey distance.
Mm-hmm.
But, you got to include all the other stuff. The preparation, the finding of the star, seeking its interpretation, finding its interpretation, and then the travel and all that stuff. So
mm-hmm.
there's a lot goes into it. But, for us today, we celebrate with, if you practice it, right? We celebrate the Wise Men Day or Epiphany on January 6th, which is the 12th day of Christmas. So the last day of Christmas is when we commemorate the wise men appearing to worship Christ.
So is that also why we commemorate the storming of the Capitol? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, man. No. That has nothing to do with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
That is 100% a joke.
Yeah.
So the wise men are summoned by Herod.
Mm-hmm.
He says, go find this child.
Yep.
I want him dead.
Yeah, but he doesn't tell them that.
Yeah. But he wants him dead. And so they go, they find him, and then they say, yeah, we ain't telling Herod about this kid. And they take off.
Yeah. So backstory on Herod. So whenever the monarchy for Israel fell is when the exile from Israel to Babylon happened. Okay. And then, the Babylonians are taken over by the Persians, and the Persians hold authority over Israel at that time. And there's no king, right? They allow people to return. They allow the rebuilding of the temple, all that stuff. So Israel's set up to be their own people, but they don't have a king anymore. They're ruled by governors that are under the Persian authority. And then Alexander the Great comes and conquers the known, world, right? Defeats the Persians. And when he dies, his empire is broken up into 4 parts by his 4 main generals. And so this area where Israel's in is constantly being fought over and changing hands. And inside that is the people of Israel who are, being lorded over by the Greeks until the Maccabees are able to revolt and successfully beat off whoever the authority is at the time for I think it's a year or 2, not a long time at all. So Israel only has its independence for a short amount of time before the Romans come into play and conquer that area and control it. I might be leaving some stuff out. I'm not a super history buff, so there might be some stuff missing.
Could have fooled me.
What I'm building up to is when Herod comes into play, he works out a deal with the Romans to be the king over Israel or over the Jewish area of the world, right? But he is in direct submission to Rome. So Rome's in charge. He's a territorial leader, ethnically for these people, but he submits to Rome. And what keeps him in power is order and peace and rest. And so, this whole idea of Christ coming to the world and the coming king, it does 2 things. One, it threatens his authority to rule or to be in power. So that's the biggest thing. But on the second hand, it also threatens the idea of Rome coming in and shutting down what he's got going on, what Herod's got going on, because people might start revolting and saying, our king has come to liberate us from Rome. We're going to revolt and fight Rome. And so Rome's like, no, you're not. And we'll come in and lights out. So that's it. It's he wants to get rid of this guy. He wants to get rid of this baby, this prophesied king, to keep the Romans at bay and to hold on to his power that he's got for that area. And so that's why he wants to kill him. And then the Magi are warned in a dream, don't go back to Herod. So they leave by a different way and go back home or, back east. And then Herod goes and slaughters every child under 2 in Bethlehem.
Mm-hmm.
And Christ is delivered from that by his parents being warned in a dream, and they flee to Egypt for a time.
Mm-hmm.
And then after Herod dies, Joseph finds out about it. And so they come back from Egypt and go to Galilee. And that's where Jesus grows up, is in Galilee. And then he starts his ministry at the age of 30. So.
And does that for how many years?
3.
That's incredible how much Jesus got done in 3 years.
And that in the Gospel of John, he makes the point to say that everything that Jesus did in his earthly ministry could not be written down in all the books that we have in the world. But what is written down is for you to know who he is. I'm paraphrasing it, but that's how John words it, is Christ did so much when he was here that there's just no way to really account for all of it. But we are making clear who he is. And so we have these 4 canonized gospels that have withstood the test of time that talk about who Christ is, right? They don't give elaborate details on every little thing that he did, because there's just no way to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. That's pretty much the Magi, or the wise men, or the kings.
The deans of the college.
The deans of the college. Yeah. So correction for last week when I made the point, Magi from the Mummy. Bible, Magi, Magi.
Mm-hmm.
In the Mummy, Magi, Medjay, Magi, which are real. They're a real people group, the Magi.
So it's not made up for the Mummy.
Not made up for the Mummy movie. They were kind of like a nomadic tribe of herdsmen and warriors who were in the kind of Egyptian Sudan area. And they moved around and eventually were taken on as like kind of a bodyguard class for the pharaohs. They would use them as bodyguards, just because of their military prowess, I guess, is what you could say. So yeah, so the Magi are a real deal, but they're south of Bethlehem. The Magi are a real thing, and they are north of Bethlehem. So 2 totally different things from 2 totally different cultures, but they've got similar names.
The only thing similar is that the word starts with the letter
M.
Flip it up. Yeah, M. I thought it was W.
What?
Which starts with W.
Which starts with W?
You said what?
Oh, what? Gotcha. I'm picking up what you...
I'm on my silliness today.
Whoopity-doo. I ate a big bowl of Fruit Loops before I came here, so I'm a little loopy. Yeah, so that's what I've got for the Magi. But I do want to, like, what I want to bring home, and this is beautiful, is the night of Christ's birth, he is visited by the shepherds in Bethlehem. So these very Jewish people who are considered kind of on the lower end of the class system at the time, because they're shepherds, they're around dirty animals all day long, but they are Jews. Okay. And then later on, the upper echelon, these Magi, these kings, these wise men, come to pay homage to Christ, but they are Gentiles. They are not Jews. So we see from the lowest Jew to the highest Gentile, all come before Christ as an infant and bow and worship him.
Mm-hmm.
And acknowledge his divinity and his authority to be king. And so that's what I wanted to bring home with this, is that Christ's birth reveals that he is the savior of all mankind. From the lowest shepherd in Bethlehem to the highest wise man of Mesopotamia, Christ came for all to redeem all. So you are not too far for Christ to redeem you. You have not dabbled in the occult too much. You have not gotten dirty in the gangs too long. You have not shot up too many substances. You have not looked at too many inappropriate things online. You have not said too many evil things in your heart or in your vocabulary. You are still redeemable by Christ, because he has come to redeem all, and all will bow before him. Just as all types of people bowed before him when he was born, when he comes again, every knee will bow, is what the Bible says. every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that he is Lord. We're in a time right now, a great time where Christ is offering redemption to all mankind. And no matter what you have done or where you are at in life, you can be redeemed. You can receive that grace that is only found in Jesus Christ. Simply believe and repent, and Christ will keep you. It will hold you. So,
because he will come quick.
That's right.
And you won't see it coming, just like this.
I like trains.
There we go. Way to start and end with it. But yeah, so that's what I've got for you guys.
I want to say this real quick.
Yep.
It's something that I find humorous to a degree, but you were talking about the shepherds, and, the angels appears to them and tells them, be not afraid. Why would an angel tell them not to be afraid unless, and I love this, I've heard this, it's a biblically accurate angel.
Yeah.
And if you know what a biblically accurate angel looks like, it's crazy looking.
Yeah.
Multiple eyes, circular, bunch of wings.
Yeah. The seraphim.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So to say, be not afraid, is like if something shows up in front of you and you see that thing and it's telling you don't be afraid, it must be something pretty creepy looking.
Yeah. And that's what gives so much credence to the cryptid community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because angel comes from the Greek word angelos, which just means messenger. It's a title. It's not an actual identifier. So what these messengers looked like could be very different depending on the scenario. But yeah, it is crazy. Even if they did look human-like, just simply hovering above,
if you saw a person in the
saw
sky,
a levitating person in the sky, speaking down to you hey, don't be afraid. And then right after they say all that, thousands of these people hovering in the sky start singing in the sky. Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what I've got for that. Do you want to move? You want to move on?
Mm-hmm. But you don't need to tell me that we're moving on. You just need to tell Tyler.
Tyler, we are transitioning into the corner. So I don't really have anything great. The only thing I have, and I'm not saying that this is a conspiracy, so calm down. All right. Right now, the H5 bird flu or influenza is going around.
I know you're prepared.
I'm prepared.
But you want to talk about something instead that has wings? And we were just talking about?
The seraphim?
Yeah.
I'm not prepared for that.
You're not prepared? Okay.
I'm not prepared for that.
Okay.
I will be prepared for that, though. I promise that we will talk about that.
Okay.
We'll talk about seraphim pretty soon. Because some people have posted videos of something that oddly looks very similar to what the Bible describes as a seraphim in the skies. So it goes hand in hand with the UFO video stuff.
The drones in the sky?
No, separate from that.
Gotcha.
But anyways, yeah, so the bird flu is going around, and it's concerning because it can be transmitted to humans this time around. So we are not totally immune from it. So it's going around, and there has been human exposure. So humans have been exposed to it, and they have caught it. People have been hospitalized and stuff. It's not fun, as most influenza, be it human or bird. But I would like to acknowledge that they have been tracking this since March of 2024. And so far, as of December 23rd of 2024, there has been 65 confirmed total human cases in the United States. So a very, very small number of humans have caught influenza this year, this bird flu. Most of it has to do with exposure to dairy herds or poultry farms, and culling operations is the way it's titled.
How I get a chicken having the bird flu.
Yeah.
But how the cow? How is the cow
Cows
getting the bird flu and spreading it, I'm assuming, through the distribution of milk?
Well, it doesn't explicitly say it's from the milk, okay? But basically wild birds can transmit it. They've got a diagram saying that it could be transmitted from wild birds to chickens, to cows, and to cats.
Uh-oh, not Tom.
Yeah, I know. And then as far as transmission, cows can transmit it to cats and poultry and humans. Poultry can transmit it to humans. So it's really cows and poultry, it seems, are the ones that can transmit. So far, seem that it could be transmitted to humans. But all the cases are coming out of mass operations, like large operations, like dairy herds or dairy farms, and poultry and culling operations for poultry birds. So really big things where there's a lot of birds or a lot of cows, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not so much, and I could be wrong, but not so much from the small mom and pop farms that have like 2 cows or 20 chickens or, whatever it is. But they do point out, and this is why I'm talking about it in the cryptic corner, to reduce your chances of getting it, they say don't ingest any kind of raw dairy products, because then the disease could be transmitted. You want to get the pasteurized dairy if you're going to consume dairy, because of the chances of you getting infected from raw dairy. But I'd like to point it out again. All these cases are popping up from people that are working on the animals or working with the animals in large environments where there's a lot of the animals, right? And we've all heard the horror stories coming out of these mass dairy farms where all the milk's pasteurized anyways, and the large poultry farms where they're shooting them up with, growth hormones and antibiotics and all this crazy stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I get it that there can be some side effects of raw dairy. However, when you start looking into all the crunchy stuff, it's like there's a lot of benefit to raw dairy. I get it. Like if it's mass produced raw dairy, it can be dangerous, but the same can be said about mass produced pasteurized dairy. So I don't know. To me, that was my, I guess what I'm getting at in the corner is I find it very convenient that we're about to get into, allegedly, a lot of people are saying that this next presidential term, as far as health goes and food goes, American food's about to get cracked down on pretty hard. And so I find it convenient that they're using the bird flu as a way to say like, hey, don't do raw dairy.
Mm-hmm.
Because allegedly you could get sick from it. Even though your raw dairy is probably coming from a local farm in your area where they would know if their animals had
been infected or not.
All the same, don't do raw dairy because you could get sick from it. Even though there's a bunch of health benefits and it makes you more autonomous from big corporations and the government, don't do it. So that's where I'm going to fall in it, because I'm a big conspiracy. I mean, we all know I'm a big conspiracy guy, but when it comes to our food, I really do think that like the government is just the medium that the big corporations use to pass whatever they need to pass to make big bucks, right? Because if you make food that makes people sick and then they come to you for the medicine as well, or it makes them addicted to your food, and so they keep buying your food, that's what you're going to do, because that's how you make more money, right? Mm-hmm. Whereas if people are aware of like, hey, healthy eating is eating in less quantity amounts, it's eating these all natural organic things that are easy to obtain, right? Like to be healthy, you don't have to get cacao from this certain plant in South America. You don't have to get this certain agave from wherever. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to get these custom ingredients that are only produced in certain parts of the world. Like you can eat healthy by having your own chickens.
Mm-hmm. You can eat healthy by eating your own ear of corn.
Correct. You can grow a non-modified healthy version of wheat to make your own bread, and you can ferment it and do a sourdough, and then it's got probiotics and it's good for you. And it's all these different things, and it's all like obtainable. It's something that you could, if you wanted to be autonomous, you could do it, right? But our food industry like pushes hard against being self-reliant and making it all about you have to get this from us. It has to be approved by the government, has to approve it for it to be consumable for humans. And the only way for that to happen is for it to come through our privately owned whatever shops or slaughterhouses or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I think that these big corporations and companies are in cahoots with the government. And I think that the areas where the bird flu has affected the animals and humans the most have been in these big corporation poultry houses and dairy farms, not in the little mom and pop ones. So it's like, hey, we're screwing up, and the way that we're doing it is causing things to get affected, and they're infecting humans now. But don't you dare buy from the local small people. Like, you still need to buy from us. Mm-hmm. So that's my thought. But anyways, those numbers came from the CDC website. You can actually go to cdc.gov and just look up the bird flu, H5 bird flu, and they've got some stats on as far as it's spreading. Like, what does it look like? They try to keep it up to date. It'll be up to date by the time this episode comes out. It'll have updated.
And if you don't have the internet and you live near us, you can just drive to Atlanta and just knock on their door and get the information in person.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that. Or you could just Google search it. If you don't have your own phone or computer and internet, you can go to a library and look it up on the computer.
There you go.
There you go. Or you can go to the Apple Store. And right after you're done looking it up in one of their phones, you can pull up on the podcast app on that phone or tablet, Saints That Serve, and subscribe. And then leave it open on that spot. So the next person.
And then go back every day and listen, or every week, and listen to the new episode.
That's right. So anyways, that's mine. Don't trust the government and be autonomous when it comes to your food. That's right. What I have for the corner.
I don't know I know you have. I have. But I'm more addressing the people at home. I don't know if you've ever gone out and pulled off any form of food straight off the plant and ate it.
Yeah.
It is so much better just in that moment than anything you could ever buy from the store.
I will say yes for most plants, but it also has to be like organically grown, right? Like given any kind of pesticide sprays on the plants or anything like that never do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're right, if it's organic and it's raw and it's in your backyard, depending on what it is, just ripping it off and eating it.
Me being at the farm, pulling off a blackberry off the vine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Berries. Heck yeah.
Oh my gosh. Blueberries, blackberries, just pulling it right off the vine and you plop that bad boy in your mouth. It's 1,000 times better than anything you could ever get from the store.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And that's not like conspiracy. That's not speculation. That is a fact that you getting it fresh from the tree is going to taste better than anything you could get processed.
Yep. Yeah. And the time frame is going to be shorter for berries and things like that because they do spoil a lot quicker. Mm-hmm. But keep in consideration for eggs. Let's just talk about eggs. Okay. When it comes to whether it's organic or whether it is free range chicken eggs or whether it's just the standard white from a mass poultry egg farm, by the time that you're putting it in your fridge, you go to the store, you buy it today, you get home, you put it in your fridge. The average time is about 6 weeks from the time that it came from the chicken to the time that it got in your fridge. It's a 6-week old egg. So compared to if you have your own chickens, like for us, because we've got chickens, right? Shout out, humble brag.
Which I've had your eggs, and they are way better than anything that's stored. Back to my point.
And we get them from the chicken that day, and we either eat them that day or the following day. And yeah, they're great. And there is a difference. Like if I was to go buy store-bought eggs and then cooked 2 separate frying pans of store-bought eggs and my eggs, like I could tell a difference. And it's just freshness. I mean, whether or not it's high-end, supernatural, crunchy eggs you get from the store or what I get from my chickens, there's a difference.
We should do that. We should. Anybody who's skeptical, come on down. We'll get a store-bought egg and we'll get a fresh egg and just cook them up, put them in front of them, blind taste test and see which one they think is better. Come on down. We will do that for you.
Let's do it.
Because 100%.
The Coke Pepsi challenge.
The Coke Pepsi challenge of eggs.
But for eggs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm all about it. But
that can be a merch shirt. It's just like, because store-bought eggs are always pretty perfect white.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times, like, natural eggs are going to be a different, more like brownish-ish color.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is. Why are they white? Is it just like this, like...
The breeded chicken. Because you can get... Yeah, I mean, we've had chickens that have laid all white eggs before. But they're just mass-producing a certain breed of chicken, and they all lay the white egg.
Gotcha. So we need just 2 eggs side by side. They're both white, brown, whatever. Just underneath it says, "Can you tell a difference?"
That would be a good shirt. I like that. But yeah, bring it back around to your berries. That's really what it is. Like, if you take the heartache and the time to mature a berry vine or bush, and it starts yielding fruit, you go and you pick it day of, compared to what's been in the grocery store, night and day difference. Like fresh berries, so good, compared to the been in a packaging for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Berries, yeah.
Growing up in my front yard, we had 2, like, we never maintained them. They just always came back. We had a pear tree and a muscadine vine.
Nice.
And just going out there, the pear tree over time, they weren't maturing as like they used to. So you bite into it, they were rock hard, so they were kind of gross.
Yeah.
You could still eat them.
Yeah.
But always that muscadine vine, just go out, plop one in your mouth. So good.
Yeah, dude. Muscadines, fig trees, and pears, they do pretty good in our area. Just like blueberries and blackberries as well. So it's like there's okay, there you go. Figs, muscadines, blackberries, blueberries, pears. I just named 5 different fruits that if you live in the Southeast, they will grow in your yard.
And to my point, you don't really have to do much with them anyways. And once they mature into a maintainable tree.
Yeah, they're a plant that continues to last year after year. You just got to do the maintenance. You just got to have good soil health. And really, a lot of that legwork is taken care of if you own things like chickens that walk around these plants when they're not yielding, because they'll help with the soil. They'll scratch it up and they'll move it, and their poop will get mixed in, and it'll help just bring nitrogen and necessary things that the soil needs to be healthy for the plant to grow. So
just so y'all know, poop is good for your plants.
Yeah, not like fresh raw poop. Like you want it to cook for a little bit.
So make sure you put your poop in the oven before you take it out to your...
Yeah, bake it at 375 for 20 minutes before you throw it in the garden. But anyways, yeah. So we're gonna get off this horse.
We're gonna get off this train.
Yeah. Because we could talk about, we could do a mini series. I mean, really, we could create our own podcast, just complaining.
Completely separate podcast, just
about how bad our food industry is in America.
What would you call that podcast?
America Sucks at Food.
The America Sucks at Food podcast.
Yeah. The America Sucks at Food podcast. Yeah. But yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah.
So we love you guys. Make sure that you like,
comment,
and subscribe if you haven't.
To the apps that allow subscriptions.
That's right. And leave a review if you can.
And leave a comment.
We've said that.
Did you just say that?
Yeah.
I zoned out there for a second.
And if you're on social media, follow us on social media. We do post regularly. So
we have a social media manager of sorts who do.
Well, I
was going to say put together all our comments into one place. So we are looking at them.
Yeah. Whatever you comment, we see it and we will shout out.
Mm-hmm. So if you're leaving comments and we're not seeing them, let us know so we can fire our social media director.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I got. We love you guys.
We love you guys. This has been the 16th episode of the Saints That Serve podcast.
That's right. So Christ is Lord.
And the kingdom is now.
We are
the Saints That Serve.
I'm your host, Johnny, and with me is our other host.
Do you want to try that again?
Yeah.
No, I'm Jairus.
Yay! Anyways.
Man.
Yeah, let's do that again. That was awful.